Yeah, hottest day of the year, and I've been invited, so there must be someone at play here. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and watching Stuart against Peter. Get going.
Just wait a minute, Stuart.
These matches, all 4 frames. Of course, it can end in a draw. That's a point each. It's 3 points for a win. And whoever finishes top tonight goes through to the second phase next week. Stuart Bingham will start as favourite, but this is a tough group, I think. And he'll be looking to make a good start. If you drop points early on, you're playing catch-up all day, and that was not ideal, catching the blue full in the face off the break-off.
Yeah, Peter will really want to try and punish that mistake there, Dave, if he can. He won't get his hand on the cloth too often in good position, so he's got to make the most of it.
Well.
Yeah, very nicely done. Chance to open his account here.
Yeah, he had his 2 years on tour, but was relegated, and then
8.
I don't need to tell you, Rod, because you got through that Q score. Very tough, probably the toughest ever this year.
Yeah, it was littered, Dave.
Right.
It was littered with main tour players everywhere. It's almost as if there's too many main tour players falling off. Yeah, so I mean, the amount of good players, really good seasoned pros, that never made it back on, and it's going to be the same every year from now on, I think.
Got to the penultimate round of the second event, lost to Stephen Holworth, and that's
Peter Devlin, 9.
disappointing miss so early on. We were just chatting before we came on, weren't we? I was saying, you know, some players would like quite a long break, but Stuart Bingham just loves playing, so because he already had the match yesterday, I'm sure he's looking forward to this as well. He's been practicing.
Well.
Yeah, I got a chance to speak to Stuart just before we came out, and he said he was involved in a very good match against Michael Holt, where he come back from 3-2 behind, he was, Dave. So I expect him to play pretty well today, carrying that form on, I would have thought. But talking about the black, what that Peter's just missed, yeah, he's not going to be able to afford to make mistakes like that.
Six.
What we saw in Ali Carter's group was his sort of percentage play, his match play coming to the fore. He had 3 young opponents, and they were all very attacking, as Ali played the percentages and played them well. Now in this group, of course, Bingham very experienced, but Peter Lyons as well is coming in later. They've got all the experience in the world as well, so it's not quite the same. Chow Yu-peng, very dangerous. And I'm sure that's why Bingham will feel he's got to make a good start in this match. If he can win this one, then he just sets the pace.
Yeah, it should be a tough group, as you say, Dave, with the likes of Chow's also.
Well.
Chow's also been to 2 finals as well, hasn't he? So he's a very competitive player. Stuart, is he living up to his nickname there?
Well, there was no raise of the hand. I mean, it can, the cross double is kind of on in that shot, I guess, but not potted the brown.
Stuart Bingham.
Yeah, I mean, the cue ball just held up for the brown, but go in. So a bit of an uncertain start here. Yeah, Peter Devlin played a good safety there. He was a child actor, and as I say, now seen on YouTube doing his raps, and quite a outgoing character.
Yeah, I remember when I met Peter for the first time, and he come up to me and he was quite confident in the players' lounge, and I thought, I'm going to have to watch this kid, this guy play, because I hadn't seen too much of him beforehand. But he's certainly a confident guy, yeah, definitely off the table.
Cue ball needs to slow up. Okay. Yeah, conditions, the tables have been really quick the whole time we've been here. Been lightning fast, actually. So Bingham was in a spot of bother there, and he has left a chance. Of course, Devlin's already had an opening, missed that black. Let's see if he can make a bit more of this one.
One.
It's surprising, Dave, how quickly the balls can go a little bit scrappy. When a
7.
player misses a black off the spot followed by a brown, all of a sudden, you're in for a scrappy start to the day, I suppose. But Peter will want to start taking these chances sooner.
Yeah, you could see straight away he wasn't on the ready reaction from him. So yeah, as you say, a bit of a disjointed opening to this match. Big week, actually. It's the last week of the first stage. Tomorrow we've got Judd Trump and Sean Murphy in different groups. We've got Mark Allen later in the week, Jack Lazowski. So some big hitters coming in, including actually Dave Gilbert, who won the title last year.
Yeah, that shot there tells me that the table is playing really slidey for Stuart to catch that so wrong. So there'll be a bit of readjusting going on from both players. But as you commented earlier, Dave, the tables are playing really nice. It's probably just going to take a little bit of while to get used to it.
1. Six. Peter Devlin 6.
Even there, he potted the red, but come too far on the blue is the wrong side of it, so just to safety. Well, if he'd have got away with that, then he really would have been ball run, wouldn't he? I mean, it couldn't have finished worse, actually. So what a chance now for Devlin.
One.
In the format of the Championship League, Dave, sometimes you're better off playing the top seed first. It's
7.
sort of, they haven't really warmed up yet, if that's the right way of putting it. And Peter really should go on and win the frame from here now. He'll be disappointed if he doesn't.
14.
He actually got to the last 16 of his very first event, 2020 European Masters.
15.
Felt a bit sorry for him and the new players that season, because that was all behind closed doors. You know, they dreamt of being a snooker professional. You have dreams of sort of travelling the world and seeing the sights, and the main sights they saw was the inside of the Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes. Nobody's fault, but it wasn't quite the experience that, you know, he would have been expecting.
$21. $22.
Yeah, it was a tough season, that playing behind closed doors. You know, everybody wearing masks. We didn't know where we were going as the world was going into lockdown. But Snooker done well to keep the calendar going. And as you rightly say, there's a number of the new lads who basically a number of the new lads who never really got to travel the world, I suppose, Dave, going to the likes of China and etc.
That's right, but like you say, at least they had tournaments to play in, and it was actually this Championship League was the first event, came back, the first day sport was allowed back in the UK 2 years ago. This was the very tournament that proved that we could operate safely. Of course, a lot of work
29.
went into that from Matchroom and World Snooker Tour to prove that we could operate safely, and we were able to carry on for that year. Devlin carrying on here. He's been very concentrated here, hasn't he? He's sort of taken his time over these because he knows what a big opportunity it is to win the frame.
$34. $35.
So this pink, and Bingham needs a couple of snookers, and he had chances early on, particularly when he missed that brown. That's where it really started to go wrong for him.
$41. Peter Devlin, 40.
Well, that's annoying because A, the frame isn't over, but B, it just gives Bingham table time. Now, yesterday against Michael Holt in the last frame, he needed 2 snookers on the green, and he got them and he cleared up to win. So I'm sure that memory is fresh in his mind.
It's a little bit of an experience as well from Peter. He should have really dug in there and tried to keep Stuart off the table. It's really important when you're playing the top boys, and even if Stuart doesn't come back and win the frame, you just don't want him getting some feel for the table,
8.
really. So, frame's still live.
No, just Stuart, thanks.
Well, he's got a snooker, but unfortunately he's still at the table himself.
60. Stuart Bingham, 16.
That was a bit advanced. Getting out of a snooker and laying a snooker, but I don't think Peter will have any trouble with this. Looks like a one cushion. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, Bingham has just sort of lost control. He had a chance, had he got on the red as intended, to lay a good snooker, and now well, he's in another one himself. Missed
Foul.
it, and looking like frame over.
Peter Devlin,
Free ball.
Free ball. Foul. Stuart Bingham 4. Free ball.
Yeah.
You snooker behind
Well,
the free ball.
yeah. It is a foul because you can't snooker behind a free ball. Obviously, the pink has ended up there
It's a free
sort
ball,
of
Stuart, as well.
unexpectedly, so that could turn everything round.
Just trying to do the maths, Dave, and he takes a blue, I think. He'll want to leave the pink next to the yellow for snookers. So he's still going to be 34 behind if he takes blue and then blue again. But I would probably play it that way.
Look at Peter Devlin. It's all just sinking in,
Blue
isn't
ball,
it?
thank
What's
you.
happened? I mean, it's a bit unlucky, but could turn this entire frame around.
Okay, I can understand why Stuart's played for the black, and he's still... It's going to get him with a little bit more freedom on the last red, really. But he needs some positional shots here, though, Dave.
Black ball, thank you.
Point is, as well, that pink can't finish there if Devlin pots it. That's the reason it's there, is he missed it.
Eight. Stuart Bingham 8.
The worst thing for Peter now is the balls are in an open position, so it literally could come down to this red here.
Yeah, as you said at the time, when he broke down when he was in, that could come back to bite him. And saying now, anyone's.
Well, blue's enough off this last red, but the problem with that is he's got to play the red dead weight, and he won't really want to do that, especially with how the frame's gone. Normally, Stuart would normally play this, and would have played it by now, I think. It's just because he has to chip her in really slow, so he seems to be looking at a safety shot here, Dave.
Well, I suppose having fought his way back into contention, he doesn't want to toss the frame away. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we just got to see the psychology of snooker there, because if Stuart would have been playing a player of his own ranking, he would have definitely took that red on there. It's only because he's waiting for a better chance, really.
Well, Devlin's played that well. He's got him snookered again. The little sign's already for Peter. It might not be his day here.
Can I expect this all day, Dave?
But the thing about Bingham, he loves that nickname, Ball Run, because it's almost like you're getting in your opponent's head at the start. He can get through to the red, actually, so he wasn't quite as bad as I thought. But he doesn't mind people thinking he's a lucky player. You know, he gets no more luck than anyone else, but in their mind they're thinking he's gonna. The minute he gets a bit, they think, here we go. It started already.
I've played Stuart enough times to know how good he is, and the only time he relies on luck is when he's going into the pack.
What a fascinating start to the day, and Devlin again just under it a bit here. So 32 in it. You need at least a blue off the red. Well, this could be a chance now. The frame looked certainty to lose when he left a free ball at one point when he already needed snookers himself. I actually wondered, you know, when he left that, if he might concede. It's not the done thing, I know, but players sometimes do. But he didn't, and of course Devlin, in missing the free ball, finished in front of another ball, the red, so that's a foul. So he left a free ball of his own.
I am noticing as well, Stuart sort of, the table seems to be just tricking him a little bit for pace at the moment. He's just slightly lost the white the wrong side of the blue here, which makes the yellow more, the yellow's going to be more difficult. But I do expect Stuart at some point to get the pace of the table, Dave, and then he'll, I would expect a high standard from him then, his normal game.
Yeah, and that's why this frame already seems so important, because Devlin had the chance to win it and therefore the chance to potentially cause an upset in the first match.
See, and even there, Stuart's chose not to really play on the yellow, which is a little bit strange, really. But pink and black are a big target area if he doesn't play the pot for a snooker.
Stuart Bingham 6.
Tell you, Hussein Vafai's won the first frame on table 2 against Ryan Thomason of Australia. Made a 147 yesterday, Vafai, in the European Masters qualifiers. We had 2 at the weekend. Zhang Anda made 1 on Saturday.
Yeah, we seem to be seeing more 147s than ever nowadays, don't we, in the game? There's that many different players making them.
Well, there's another match, Zhao Gudong won 5-4. He's 4-1 down. He made 4 centuries. I mean, incredible standard.
Yeah. I think that's the modern day players. Once they slot into a gear, they can reel off 3 or 4 frames in almost Ronnie O'Sullivan speed and fashion sometimes. Stuart won't have been happy with the last shot he played. Knocking the ping towards the blacks just made it more difficult again, but I suppose it's in keeping with the type of frame it's being, really. Pace again's just slightly got him again there. Table's running very good today.
So now the pink has come away from the black.
Thank you, Peter.
What an ordeal this is for Devlin, though. I mean, if he'd have just potted that extra red when he was in initially, or the free ball pink, then we'd be deep into frame 2 now.
Foul.
Oh dear.
Miss. Stuart Bingham 4.
Not getting any better for him.
Yeah.
And even if Peter was to go on and win the frame, he just won't feel good about the frame, will he? So, you know, any of the younger players out there watching, you know, when you get the chance to sort of pot the last few open balls, especially against the top guys, the top pros, you've really got to make sure you get them, keep them in the seat, really.
Yeah, because the thing is, the break he made, he really focused hard. I mean, it looked easy where the balls were, but he really made sure he got them, but then maybe just relaxed a bit when he thought he was over the line, and now here we are in this situation.
Two.
Well, yeah, he's fluked it, but he's in a snooker, and there's still enough on. 24 in it, 25 on. Strange frame, Rod, for you to make your commentary debut on.
I'm going to take a guess now, wild guess, and say it might be a black ball finish.
Foul and a miss.
Well, you could write a book on this frame, couldn't you? What's happening here? Incredible.
Stuart Bingham 4. Yeah.
But they all add up at the end of the match, and you know, there's still a first frame of the day. It's a key frame. It's massive for Peter now, this frame.
Just let me check that one, Peter. Yeah, okay. Stuart? Yeah. Three.
I struck that really well. Great positional shot. So, you want to get a good angle on the blue.
7.
White's just rolled on an inch or two more. He's definitely finding the table quick. It looks like it's going to come down to the pink this frame.
Well, this pink, of course, it was the free ball that Devlin missed, and then he ended up in front of the last red, so that was a foul. It gave Bingham a free ball and meant he could win the frame. Oh, but he's missed it.
Stuart Bingham 12.
Oh, that was a very nice shot. Pace of it, excellent.
.32-minute frame so far, but very, very interesting one. Bingham has put so much effort into getting back into it, but he doesn't win it now. He'll be very disappointed. He had the chance on the pink.
Wow, looks like he's got the cover as well. A strange frame. I'm not sure he can see enough of the pink either to hold the white behind the black for a snooker, so this mightn't be as straightforward as it looks either. He's played that very well.
Feel it's not only going to end on the black, someone will fluke the black or something. Something strange will happen because it's been that sort of frame.
Is Stuart playing the double? Yeah, I think he'd had enough there and he just chose to go for the win, but that looks perfect for Peter.
Well, he'll be so relieved if he knocks this in because he looked a certainty to win the frame, and then there was a lot of anxiety. Bingham did have his chance, potted the blue, missed the pink to the yellow pocket, went for the double. Devlin needs this pink. And after all that, he wins the frame. So what a dramatic start to our fourth week here at the Championship League. Peter Devlin leads Stuart Bingham 1-0. Well, Stuart Bingham went through a roller coaster of emotions and in the end didn't get the result he was looking for in frame one, having got an unexpected chance. Just didn't quite put it away. Peter Devlin would have been so relieved to get that pink finally to win the frame. So we're underway. Devlin leading 1-0 on table 2. Hussein Vafai is now 2-0 up on Ryan Thomason. Referees once again wearing T-shirts, which is a humane thing for the organisers to allow them to do in this heat.
The second frame. Peter Devlin to break.
Yeah, I'm actually sort of a supporter of dressing down, Dave, and especially in the qualifying section of events, and especially the different times of the year we're playing now. You know, playing in a sort of a polo T-shirt. I'm a supporter of that in the qualifiers, especially. But obviously, from the final stages, it's nice to be wearing the full attire. But I think we should do it a little bit more in the qualifiers, I think.
Well, yeah, particularly, you know, in July. I mean, it's the hottest day ever today. It will be later. So, got to look after the guys out there. What sort of watcher of snooker are you, Rod? Because I know some players, if they get knocked out of a tournament, they will. It's like they don't have a TV. But other players just enjoy watching snooker. Do you enjoy it?
Well,
yeah, I think when I was younger, I didn't have a TV when I got beat. But I think as I've got older, I get to appreciate. You know, sometimes you lose. It isn't. You haven't really done much wrong. Go home and take a day off, and then try and follow the tournament. And you know, if you're watching the top guys in action, you know, generally the standard's really good, isn't it? So I tend to follow the events as they progress nowadays. But it's definitely as I've got a little bit older, I've enjoyed it more, to be honest. And also as well, there's so much to learn. You know, you never stop learning, especially as the game's evolving. So if you're not following it, you're sort of, you know, you're behind the pack, aren't you? I suppose.
6.
The wearisome look on his face there, that didn't quite come off as intended. Yeah, I mean, it's following on obviously from what happened in the first frame. Yeah, I mean, you've retained your love as well, Rod, of the game, obviously, into your early 50s now, but went to the Q School and delighted to be back on tour, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. I've got 2 more years, and you know, I'm just trying to enjoy however long I've got left. I realise I'm in the sort of the finishing end of my career, but no, I'm trying to enjoy it. And you talked about the temperatures. You know, every time we go to Q School, it seems to me, I don't know whether it's the pressure or it's the temperature in Sheffield at that time of the year. It always seems to be really hot. But no, it's very competitive. I'm delighted, and I'm looking forward to, you know, the next couple of seasons, definitely.
I think it's quite a warm building, that Ponsfield, isn't it? Because obviously they've got the swimming pool there, and maybe it's just naturally like that.
Well. Peter Devlin 1.
Yeah, I've already played in the championship league in one of the earlier rounds, in one of the earlier groups, and I did find the table really quick. And you commented on that in the first frame, and I think Stuart's finding it quick today. He's played the brown earlier on in this frame and overrun to the red, so I'm a bit surprised, because normally the quicker the conditions, normally the better they are, but I don't expect it to carry on.
Yeah, it's interesting because he had a good win yesterday, but it was actually on a completely different make of table. The star tables are used for the the European Masters. This is a Rasson table, so it will play differently. Well, he might well hold his hand up because obviously could have left that over the pocket, which gives him control of the table.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any reds that pot. He's got a favourable angle on the brown, but there's no value in rolling up behind the brown either. So, you know, personally, I think maybe the green off the cushion into the pack, or maybe the yellow into the pack with a little bit of pace. I don't see the advantage of playing a dead weight snooker behind the bulk colour. Because
Peter Devlin, what?
he can expect mostly a couple of fouls at best, and that would be at best, I would have thought. They're just a little moments in matches where some of the newer players and the younger players don't quite always see, and it's just an experience thing, I think. Commented about missing that red when he had the frame one in the last frame, and that would be another moment in a match where to take the positive shot. We open the reds.
One.
Well, he struck it with a lot of authority. Could have finished slightly better, I think.
Brown ball. Peter Devlin, one.
One of those frames with the browns gone towards the reds, which for our colourblind players is a nightmare. Mark Williams is one of them.
Yeah, Mark doesn't have too many weaknesses, so if that's one of them, that's not too bad. But no, Peter had an opportunity to play the blue there when he'd potted the red, and he was patient, but I don't know. You know, I think you've 1-0 up. I think you've got to be looking to be as positive as possible, so he's obviously being patient for a better chance.
But also, he didn't get the snooker, did he? That's the point. If you're going to lay the snooker, then actually get it. He didn't get in tight behind green.
And at some point, Stuart's going to click into a highest gear, you know, you would expect.
Well, that's the danger with Bingham. I mean, he's such a heavy scorer. 9 maximums he's made. You know, that's it's only Sullivan, Higgins, and Hendry ahead of him. So that just tells you, you know, what a heavy scorer he is.
Stuart's one of them players that I seem to have played in the last stages of some of the big events that I've done well in, and every time I've come up against them, I've been playing really good snooker coming into playing Stuart, but some of the snooker he's played against me just relentless. You know, 4 tons in 6 frames and stuff like that, and you know, it really that's what he does have in his game. He's always been like that, Stuart.
Now, Hussain Vafai has beaten Ryan Thomason 3-0. He obviously likes Leicester, Hussain Vafai, because he won the shootout here last season. It was a great moment for him. Just yesterday, he made a 147 here. The European Masters qualifiers, and he's got off to a flying start there. Gampeng Fei against Onyi is the next match.
Yeah, he's a real talented player, isn't he, Hussain? Very good.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the top 16 pretty soon, actually. He's just outside at the moment, 18th, but I think he'll get there.
Well, and I know early on in his career he had a lot of visa issues, didn't he? But he seems to be through that now, and he's a real talented player, and he sort of plays a very positive game, but without sort of ever looking like he's going for too many shots.
Well, a little bit stop-start this match.
Peter Devlin won.
And as Rod says, the danger for Devlin is that the more chances Bingham gets, eventually he's going to start to play the snooker we know he can.
Well,
going well at the Crucible early this year against Judd Trump in the quarter-final. Missed one ball that turned the whole match. He missed a black, leading 8-5. Black off the spot, and he never won another frame. Just completely turned the whole match.
5.
Yeah, it's amazing how the top players do that to each other, isn't it? Go on scoring runs of frame after frame, you know, and especially, you know, the likes of Judd, you know, he's so much talent.
We'll be seeing Trump tomorrow. Meanwhile, Bingham just struggling to get to grips with conditions, I think, if anything.
12.
I think you made a comment about playing on a slightly different table, and I just think there's just a little bit of getting used to that. Before I came to play in my group stage, I practiced with a friend, John Welsh, on his practice table purposely to get used to playing on one of these tables, and it does help.
He was in the English Amateur final.
Yeah, he come very close to sort of winning it. He would have been one of the oldest, I think the oldest winner, 58, but he's a good friend and he did very well. So I believe he was involved in a good final. I think it was Jamie Barrett beat him, so very well done to him as well. Am I right in saying as well, Stuart's a former English champion as well?
Yeah, 96 he won the English and World Amateur titles.
Which is a very good double. I know he's also won the world, both worlds. But to win the English, it takes some doing. He's not getting the pace of the table at all, is he? It's running very quick for him today.
Yeah, and it just becomes a bit of a test of patience, which he normally passes, Bingham. Normally, temperament-wise, he's very strong.
Stuart Bingham.
Just having to be patient here, as I say, wait for another opportunity. I think the good news, though, is that Devlin, he's also struggling a bit. He's had some chances, he's been breaking down. It's not like he's come out with a couple of big breaks so far.
Foul and a miss. Stuart Bingham 4. Yeah.
Well, Spencer, the referee, he's been here all week because he stayed to do the qualifiers.
Peter?
Yeah, I can see plenty of that cushion.
A little bit more that way, if anything, then.
And it is moments like this where, you know, they sort of earn their reputation, you know, because
Yeah, okay, sure.
slightest fractions can matter. Do need the referee to replace the white in exactly the space, the place for getting out of snookers, even though that was straightforward enough. Yeah, good shot. Yeah, I was chatting to Rob a while back about he used to play back in the amateur days in the Manchester scene.
One.
He was telling us he used to play with the likes of another professional, Paul Medarty, from back in the old days. He had a club in Manchester, and Nick Dyson and people like that.
Well, it was a wonderful red from
Peter Devlin 1.
Peter Devlin. And he's got him control. Yeah, it must be a help for the refs if they've played. I know a lot of them have done, and they just love being involved in the sport. They love snooker. They found a way to be involved in it. Because of course you can be part of some very special moments, particularly 147s and big tournament finals.
That was well executed by Stuart there, and yeah, the referees often are very proud of when they get the first World Finals, and so they should be. You know, it's a career highlight, isn't it? Yeah, I like that shot by Peter. He's brought the red into play, trying to get the snooker at the same time. You know, making the table more of an open table because he's 18 points behind. That's a right shot to play there.
Well, Stuart Bingham, who I'm sure has been looking forward to the new season for weeks now, it's turning into a bit of a nightmare for him. That could not have gone any worse. Peter Devlin 18 behind, but good chance here in frame 2. Similar, although it's a bit later in the frame, but it's similar to the chance he had in frame 1. The balls aligned nicely, and in that frame, did really focus hard on putting them away. As I say, he maybe relaxed a bit too much when he thought he got over the line, but another effort required here because he's a great chance for 2-0. Looking ahead, the yellow obviously could be an issue there on the bulk cushion.
7.
And the red on the black's cushion away without the black on its spot, but I'm sure Peter will just want to get to them first. You don't get many opportunities like this against the top seed in the group, so it's a big opportunity, this.
Forty. 50.
This is one of the key shots. Left a nice angle on the red, come out for the blue or pink, so nicely played. It could come down to that yellow you're talking about, Dave.
Looking that way, isn't it? But he's got rid of that difficult red.
If he could leave a favourable angle on the red to play for the green, it would be the best way of going about the clearance. Obviously yellow to green where the green is now is difficult, but it depends what angle he leaves after this blue. I think that looks possible favourable. If he can play for the green, it would be a good ball to play for, but maybe he's coming back for the black.
27.
Yeah, he didn't get the angle he wanted on the black, so not quite worked out this. Looking at yellow and then yellow again.
And should he pot the yellow down the bulk cushion, he's going to need to leave a perfect angle on the yellow into the middle pocket to get to the green. So it's not an easy clearance at all, this. That's why he's looking other options, really. Looks like he's played that well, but
29.
is the angle there? I'll soon know by his body language.
Well, he's played a superb shot there. So now it's about holding himself together. He's 13 in front, so he needs green and brown. Lead by 20 with 18 on.
34.
Done well here.
Yeah, they weren't as straightforward as they first looked, and he's held himself together very well.
So Stuart Bingham, the top seed
38.
in this group, has got a few problems here. He's struggling, I think, with just adapting to the pace of the table. He's not really made any significant contributions yet. And the best he can now do is a draw in the match.
43.
Peter Devlin will be hoping he can go on and win it and get the 3 points.
Oh, we're getting exhibition shots now, Dave.
49.
But absolutely, in the end, it's turned into an excellent break. He'll be feeling really good. Of course, he could have lost that first frame, but he didn't. He won it in the end. And he's won this one as well with that
Peter
49.
Devlin, 49
So
on the frame.
Peter Devlin on top, Stuart Bingham with a few problems. It's 2-0. So Peter Devlin, who's here as one of the top-up players, is looking good. 2-0 up on Stuart Bingham. First frame was a bit of a scramble, but he'll be very happy with how he won that last one. He made a very good 49 break. It wasn't straightforward. Bingham yet to really make any breaks to speak of. He's going to have to start soon, otherwise he's going to be on the back foot right from the start. The best he can do is a draw. We've had one group where a player lost a match but still won his group. That was Chang Bing-yu last week. But it's very rare to lose a match and go on to win the group, because to an extent you're relying on other results to go your way rather than it being in your own hands. Certainly ball run is not having so much of the running. It's Peter Devlin who's managed to get away with that one, at least covering the easy red over the pocket.
Yeah, and you learn many snooker players say it's as if the balls know who's winning, Dave. You know, sometimes they just roll that way, and it's strange, really. So it looks like he's got another great chance to start the frame, and, you know, he'll be looking to hold himself together here, Peter.
Yeah, and that red Bingham's just missed. You know, 2-0 up playing well, gets that, probably 9 out of 10, but the reverse is the case here. He's 2-0 down, not feeling so good, and might be feeling even worse in a few minutes.
Yeah, she very rarely get chances against the top players like this, so Peter will be feeling it here, but he'll be keen to compose himself and make a good break.
9. 16. 17.
Mentioned he's a gregarious character. Earlier this year, he somehow managed to end up on stage with Jessie J, performing with her. I'm not quite sure how, but there are videos available online of that. Put it this way: if she asked for a volunteer, his hand would shoot up first, because he's that sort of guy, and that's why I think we need him back on the tour, actually, because there's something very different about him, and got personality he wants to project.
Yeah, I heard he was a rapper. I didn't know he was a music superstar. I'll have to check out some of his YouTube clips.
$25.
Hmm.
30.
I think he's probably better taking the red over the yellow's pocket here. He's in more control of the white. If he does choose to play the red at the back of the pack, he's not in control of the white, so he will be relying on a bit of luck for position on the pink or the black. Looks like he's making his mind up. Yeah, I like that choice better, and he's left himself a nice angle as well on the blue. Ideally, you'd like to finish just slightly low on the red, to cannon a few reds open at the same time, but it looks like he's finished high, so he'll have to do it off maybe the black, play a cannon off the black. That's a good chance, this, Dave.
Yeah, and he looks in control of himself as well. I think that break he made in the last frame has done him the power of good, because to negotiate a few difficult moments, ended up potting, well, two very good yellows, actually, in succession.
Thank you. 37.
He got a glancing cannon there rather than a full cannon, so it looks like end of break, but he's literally 43 on the board. He's one chance away from getting a very good
Peter
win.
Devlin, 43.
Yeah, and he hasn't missed. He's just lost position. So Bingham, as I say, well and truly on the back foot. 2-0 down. 43 down.
Stuart's looking about the possibility of making a plant here, because he's going to do well to be able to cover that red closest to the black's pocket. But the plant doesn't really look on either, so he's in a bit of trouble here. He may be forced into playing the plant and trying to make it.
Well, it's an interesting junction now, I think. Devlin, where the balls are, maybe just needs one more chance. Bingham, though, if he were to get one, more than capable of taking the frame out and then getting a foothold in this match. That's why every little nudge can be very significant.
Yes, if that cannon keeps the white on the brown spot, you know, you'd fancy Stuart to knock the long red in, no problem. And now he might be forced into playing a pot. Or certainly a difficult safety either way. The balls definitely know who's winning, Dave.
Well, it's been frustrating match for Bingham, certainly. It really started in the first frame. He missed a brown early on after Devlin had missed a black off the spot. Bingham, you felt, might get going there, but it didn't happen. Of course, he did have the chance to win the first frame after all sorts was happening with free balls and fouls and so on, but he ultimately didn't put it away.
Yeah, Peter won't want to disturb those three reds on the pinks cushion. They're sort of an insurance for later on in the frame should he need them. So he's just trying to work out the best place to put the white and the best red to play off, I suppose. Chipping another ball to the pinks cushion. Smart play. I think he's played the right shot there, being 43 up.
Bingham living every moment. Well, he might, because as I say, deep trouble here.
Yeah, it's a funny position when you're in this position and you're sort of on the verge of winning, but you know, you just don't want to give a starter to your opponent. That's why he's gone thin. He didn't want to cannon a red over the hole. But I'm not sure whether he's covered.
Just not happening, is it, for Bingham today? And he's left a chance here for Devlin to get this one.
One.
can, then it really shakes things up. Bingham obviously top seed in the group. He loses his first match, it gives everyone else hope. Chow Yu-Peng, Peter Lyons, the other players. Might be their day.
Yeah, and also the emotions of Peter as well. You know, he's played in Q School, fell off the tour, played in Q School, hasn't got back on. And here he is as a top-up player in the first event of the season with a chance to beat Stuart 3-0. You know, so it just shows you the emotions a snooker player goes through as well, really. I'm sure he'll be very nervous here, but he looks calm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when the final Q School ended and he lost, I think he lost round 1 actually of the last one, he would have been very upset, but there are chances off that top-up list if he can't get a full field, and looking to really make the most of this chance today.
$50.
So a little glance at the scores. 65 the lead with the black, so another red and a black, and Bingham would need snookers.
And the other 5 reds are sitting really sort of all tied up on cushions or behind the pink. So
22.
This is a great opportunity for Peter Devlin to score 3 points here today.
23.
And he'll want to try and do it at this visit as well, because we know what happened in the first frame. He won't want to go through that again.
No, and how different things could have been there if Bingham had come back and won that frame. He did have a chance, a couple of chances at the pink to seal it, needing the black as well. Yeah, so can just pot this one, then there's surely no way back. 2 snookers needed as it stands, but if the red goes in, then well, first things first, don't foul with the rest, because that would turn things round again. Seen that happen before. So
Peter Devlin
not
30.
there. Bingham hangs on here. He needs 2 snookers.
But should that be enough and Peter goes on to win the game, fair play to him, and you know, very well. He's took the balls well off the positions that he got. Stuart will be looking for if he doesn't go on and get back in this frame, he'll be looking for a much improved performance in the rest of the group. Yeah,
he'll be back at 5 o'clock UK time to play Peter Lyons, and then last on against Chow Yu-Peng, hoping by then, of course, he can still win the group. He'll have to win his last 2 matches. Just for a moment, I thought he might have knocked that black in. That would have turned things. If you watch the first frame, you'll know strange things can happen. What can happen here, though, of course, is Bingham can now start to clear some of these reds away.
One. Eight. 9.
There's that insurance policy we were talking about earlier on in the frame, where one red's tight to the pink and the other 2 are not potable either. So really will be a slog for Stuart to get back into this frame. Very difficult.
60. Stuart Bingham 60.
Yeah, it's even there, just catching the knuckles kind of sums up the day for him. Beauty though of this event is that you get the 3 matches. So if this was a knockout event and lost in these circumstances, it'd be a long drive home. But he still has the chance to A, put in a good performance today, and B, potentially still, despite this, still win the group. Be unlikely, I think, but not impossible. He could do some draws, I guess, in some of the other matches, and then at least he's within range if he wins his last 2. Ooh, well, it hung on. And the lucky boy there, really. How's that hung on?
It's been that type of match, though, hasn't it? He's just one good pot away from sealing the match. Really, it's just a case of can he get one red? Half a chance here.
And in it goes. Well, he's played well overall. Stuart Bingham has struggled. It's been a dramatic start.